Sean, I don't think we've asked. Sean, I don't think we've gotten around to asking you this. What was the reason y'all didn't have Vaughn active in week one? Was it just kind of a matter of kind of what y'all were wanting to play defensively?
Yeah, look, he's going to be up in this game, and a lot of it had to do with just a decision in regards to the kicking game. He's doing well. He's healthy. He's had a good week of work. We'll see him a lot in special teams. No specific reason.
Sean, with that hard count last week, Drew got him on. I'm just curious, is there anything about just the optics in a stadium that has maybe changed how that sounds? Is there anything you have to protect against because that's a little bit different sounding?
Well, look, I think there is. Look, it's like a practice environment, and so for both teams, very quickly, the defensive lines can begin to hear the cadences without the road crowd noise. Of course, that would be on defense, but I do think it's a little different. The timing of the play worked well, and it's something we work on and we play around with in different formations. But I do think it's different now.
Does Emmanuel Sanders play like kind of a veteran mentor role in your receiver room right now? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think number one, he's experienced, and he's picked up the playbook. We keep looking for ways that uniquely fit his skill set to get him the football. And I would say yes to some. We have some young players on this team that are at the receiver position, and generally speaking, the guys that have been in the league a little bit longer can help those guys out. His transition, being in his first year here, obviously is picking up what we're doing, and he's done that well. So, he is one of those guys that they look up to, and he's got a real good feel for playing the position, and I think that helps when it comes to talking with younger players.
Hey, Sean, I'm just curious. Obviously it's just one game that you guys have played, but you ran more than you passed. You had 9 different guys targeted in the pass game. Is that kind of balance what you're going for here offensively, or just a reflection of how the game unfolded?
I think a little bit of how it unfolded. I felt like when we watched the film after the game, there were a number of things that we would have liked to have done better. When you get 3 turnovers and you get a lead like we had, your rushing numbers then can build a little bit, in the second half. But a little bit of a byproduct of the game, and yet I think it's important for us as an offense to establish that balance and have the running game that complements so many of the other things that we want to do. And so it was kind of how that game unfolded, though.
Thank you.
How about Latavius Murray specifically in that? Did you guys take a look this offseason at a way to give him a more defined or consistent role, possibly after his touches would vary so much from week to week last year?
It's a challenge with 2 backs, and certainly we feel like, even when Alvin was injured last year and he carried the load, man, he's someone that we value a bunch in what we're doing. And it's a challenge for me as a play caller of making sure, he's getting enough touches and we're still getting Alvin, his.
John, you mentioned this week about how Gruden does a lot of formations, motions, personnel packages. Is that one of the ways he had an influence on you and the way you go about putting together an offense?
Yeah, look, to some degree, I think so. I mean, that was a big first impression. You got to understand, when I arrived there in '97, coming from college offense and into what he was doing there in Philadelphia, that was a huge jump schematically relative to play design, relative to personnel groupings. And I think it's probably something that a lot of college coaches go through when they enter our league, but I certainly did. And, you know, we would study certain teams. I can recall breaking down Green Bay, breaking down Kansas City and San Francisco, teams that maybe had similar styles, and looking for ideas, personnel grouping wise, formation wise, and look, just to this day, we do the same thing. And you know, John's tape is someone that we look at every week. So yeah, I would say that was the beginning, definitely.
Did he also kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of teach you the way to grind? You know, like looking at a ton of film, stand up late, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I felt he used to say I looked like a boxer in the 11th round, bags under my eyes and getting adjusted to the schedule. But that his intelligence and his work ethic are really impressive, and have had a lot to do with him being a Super Bowl winning coach and a guy that's respected by so many.
Hey, Sean, I don't even know if you would know the logistics of this, but if there was a problem with the hotel y'all are staying at on the road, could you change last minute? I say that because I just saw a news article about a big outbreak at one of the hotels in Vegas.
Yeah, look, I read the same article, Catherine, and I think that hopefully with what we're doing, this is the only game on the road that we're playing at a hotel that's occupied with other guests. Then the remaining 7 are all buyouts where it's just our team. So that being said, there'll be a whole wing where we're just basically quarantined in and really going into more of a hard bubble. But that's a good question.
I know you get a lot of bubble questions. I literally just saw the article like 5 minutes ago and thought, man, could they even logistically change hotels?
Pardon?
Oh, I said, I know you get so many bubble questions. I just literally saw the article 5 minutes ago and thought, man, could they even change a hotel last minute?
Yeah, I think, well, look, I think that would be difficult only because of the amount of preparation relative to where we're going. You know, it's a pretty sterile environment, specifically where we're going to be at. The buses, you know, we're operating with more buses than normal to space out all of us on the buses. The airlines, I mean, you know, there's a lot that goes into this road trip. And just as I said a week ago, you know, the key for me is just keeping it simple. The guys understanding the itinerary and focusing on the main thing.
Sean, is Drew still on the same throwing schedule where it'd be Wednesday off and then the next 2 days of this week, Thursday off, and then throws the next 2?
Yeah, and look, this past week was different because we had an additional day. But yes.
So he threw on Thursday this week, but then didn't you guys practice, had a bonus day and he didn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Coach. First question is from Luke Johnson.
Hey, CJ, have you always been so comfortable playing like up in the box, defending the run like that? Is that something you had to kind of work on?
Yeah, I can say that's something we talk about on the back end. Like everybody got to be able to be comfortable being in the box at some point. Everybody got to be comfortable, getting close to the ball, getting close to the line of scrimmage because we take care of each other on this team. So we got to be able to service each other and just get comfortable, do what you got to do to go play football.
Next question is from Omar Ruiz.
Hey, thank you for taking the time. Just curious what you make of the Raiders receiving core. Just kind of seems like they have, different style and skill sets from a bunch of different guys.
They got a lot. They got a lot of speed, a lot of size out there. With the tight end be able to run. With the guy Renfro in the slot, real shifty guys, reliable on third down. It's a lot of keys they got on offense. We also have to account for the running back because he has good hands. He also accounted for. But just going out there and focus on our game, I know they got a pretty good group, so we got to go out there, with our focus level at an all-time high, lock in together, and just do what we did last week, just come together and play a good game.
Thank you.
Next question is from Amy Just.
Yeah, I asked you during training camp how much you felt that you'd grown from year 1 to year 2, and now that you have a game under your belt with a significant amount of snaps in it, same question, how do you feel that you've grown now that you've got a game under your belt now?
Man, I feel like from 16 games to 1 game this year, or 17 games to 1 game this year, I just feel like I'm taking a big step forward by just playing faster, more comfortable, When you first get to the league, you don't know what they expect. It's moving so fast, ball, you learn every day, you up and running with meetings. But then once you settle in, you get your year, go through the offseason, you come back and see your mistakes and see what you're doing wrong, you fix them, because like I said, I got a year up under me. So with that year, I felt like that offseason I took a lot of weaknesses and I went after them. And I felt like after this first game, I felt like they started to come together, we didn't have no preseason, so I gotta, continue to stack these days, stack the games up with my teammates, and continue to get better every day.
Next one's from Luke Johnson.
DJ, how big a part is energy to your game, and did the Saints kind of encourage you to play with that high energy and kind of get after it that way?
The message was just be me. I'm not really too worried about how somebody feel about me. I just want to go out there, play football. Because I love doing it. I've been doing this since I was young. So when I go out and play football, I just think about everything possible. That make me smile when I'm out there. Because you got to think about when you go out there, you can't take a play for granted. You can't take a second for granted because the ball about to snap. So when I go out, I just keep that energy up because you got to be the same guy every day. And the more consistent I am with my personality and how I play, the team will want to gravitate towards you more as a person and as a player. That goes for anybody. So I just feel like me just being me is just something that they love.
Next question's from Nick Underhill.
Hey, I see you put out music and that. I'm just curious, how did you get into that? And, why is that like such your form of expression?
Right now, I ain't really focused on music, but music was something that took part in off season. That was off season thing. But that's something that keeps my head mellow when I'm just by myself or when I'm just on the way to a game. That's just something like everybody listens to music in some way or form. So I figure out all this music can relate to us, but how can I just, just be me? And that was the off season. Right now I'm focused on the season. I listen to a lot of music now still, so right now I'm focused on winning against the Raiders, being 1-0 this weekend, and that's it.
All right, we'll talk about it during the offseason then.
All right, I think we should be all set. Thank you, CJ.
No problem. Yeah. Thank you. No problem.
week under your belt with this team, do you think, like, how do you feel kind of at your comfort level in the offense with Drew, all that, now that you've got an actual game under your belt?
I think my comfort level is probably about at 85. You know, obviously I wanted to be more, but you know, not being able to go through OTAs and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, I'll be lying to you guys if I say, yeah, I'm 100% comfortable. Like, you know, but I know week by week I'm gonna get more and more comfortable with the personnels and with, you know, the plays and everything. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to this upcoming game to see, you know, if I can get that 85 to 90 and week by week, just like I said, just keep progressing, because, you know, it's not an easy offense. You know, it's an offense that, and it's a reason why they're explosive passing offense, because you move around a lot, different splits, different personnel. It's a lot of moving pieces, and so it can definitely make your head spin. But you know, I'm starting to grasp it more and more.
Next question's from Amy Just.
Yeah, off the field, you're, you know, one of the more veteran guys in that room, and how, I guess, have you worked in, you know, kind of teaching some of the younger guys, because there are a lot of younger guys in there too, even though you don't know, I guess, the offense as well as you want to right now?
Yeah, I think it's just about speaking up if I see anything, right? If I see something, it's a reason why, you know, I'm subject to say something. It's because, you know, being in the league, you know, 11 years, and being fortunate enough to go to the Super Bowl, you know, 3 times in those 11 years, be on good teams, and you know what it takes to make it all the way to the top and win it all. And so if I'm seeing something, it's a reason why, you know, like I said, I'm subject to say something. It's because it's probably not the right thing to do. But I tell you what, we got a great nucleus of guys here. Traquan, Deontay, you know, Benny Fowler. Those guys, man, they come to work every single day. So for me, you know, I broke out the huddle the other day, and I was just telling them, one thing that we always got to remember is that, you know, these opportunities don't come. And I'm talking about just being in the National Football League in general. It's a blessing to be in the NFL. And I know sometimes we get so caught up in the hype of it, or the games, or trying to be perfect and make the plays. But sometimes you got to take a step back and realize how blessed we are, you know, to be able to do what we do. You know, this is the American dream for a lot of people. Everybody want to be a professional NFL player. And so, you know, I was just telling them, just don't think about the X's and O's so much. Always remember to have fun, and remember how blessed you are. And I feel like, you know, in me telling them that, I was also telling myself that, because sometimes we can't get caught up in, and that always helped me to relax and understand, you know, how blessed I am.
Next question's from Omar Ruiz.
Hey, Emmanuel, obviously you have a history of playing with some great quarterbacks over the years. I'm curious, you mentioned, you know, just, you know, maybe 85% of the comfort level there. If it typically takes game reps, you know, in the regular season to kind of finalize that, you know, 100% comfortability, or is it just kind of the nature of this off season and not having those OTAs and regular training camp?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. I think the first game kind of caught me off guard with the amount of personnel that we use. I mean, we have over 15 personnel packages, you know, and you know, some plays I'm in, some plays I'm out. So some plays they're calling the personnel, and I got to remember, like, am I in on that personnel? Am I not in on that personnel? And sometimes I get caught up, like, I having to think, like, So it's definitely different. It's different than any you know, team I've been on. You know, I've never had that many personnel. Most of the time, if you got 3 wide receivers, that's a 3 wide receiver personnel. If you got 2 wide receivers, that's a 2 wide receiver. If you got 1, that's a 1, and that's it. Most teams have probably about 6 personnel. Here you got a lot, and you know, it's gonna be an adjustment. But like I said, it's a reason why they do it. Because they try to get guys in the right position and make the best plays possible. And so they've been having a lot of success with it, and I'm open to it. Like I said, it's just a learning process for me.
Cool, thanks, man.
Last one from Nick Underhill.
Yeah, with the way they bring guys from all kinds of different spots on the field and routes from different places, and you know, interchange spots, do you almost have to know the offense like a quarterback just to know the ins and outs of everything and know the concepts?
Not so much. That's Drew's job. My job is to know the personnel, and then from there I know what position I'm playing. and then from there I know the route. And so for me, like I don't have to know what everybody is doing. So how I study is I study the personnel, and then I study where am I at in that personnel and what do I need to do, and that's that. But like I said, we got so many different personnels in the first game. We're subbing in and out, and we don't have the same luxury that we have in practice to be like, oh, you in or you not. Like it has to be a smooth transition. So I'm getting adjusted to that, and I think you can only prepare for that during the game.
All right, that wraps it up. Thank you, Emmanuel.
All right, thank you.
Toronto, just wondering how valuable Nick Easton's been for you guys this last 18 games or whatever, filling in whenever y'all have been missing somebody along the line. You're muted.
One
Toronto,
sec, Teron. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
No, he's been great. That veteran experience. That's what he's brought in to do. He brought in to play, and he's filled in multiple positions, pretty well. And we asked a lot of him, and he's been producing. And it's just kind of how the environment that we build, that next man up type of environment, without having to sacrifice anything. Just the next guy's ready to roll.
Catherine, you want to go ahead?
Hey, I was wondering, do you have any family and friends that are still making the trip even though they're not allowed to go to the game?
Me personally, no.
Okay. I know a few people did, and it just seems like a lot of Saints fans are still going, so didn't know if anyone you knew was doing that, but sure Saints.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it. I know some people that's going, but not in the immediate family that's going. And I wouldn't put it past the Saints fans at all to be all over Vegas, for sure. I wouldn't put it past them.
Amos, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Hey, Terron, going against them in practice, have you noticed kind of the defensive line being maybe a little juiced after the way they started that first game? And then do you kind of get that sense from that always that they're always trying to, do every rep to the maximum and trying to improve?
They're a great front, very active, and they play lights out every day. So, it's a group that's prideful, that push each other, and it all starts with Cam Jordan, and he won't let anyone slack at all. So the way that they go about their business, and the defensive line coach too, Ron Nielsen, has done an amazing job with those guys. He's always pushing them and staying on them. And they're producing, man. It's exciting to watch that D-line go out there and get after people.
Nick?
Well, first of all, thanks for being a team spokesman and doing media almost every single day. But I'm just curious, your take on Cesar Ruiz, just being around him, how he's growing on the field and what he's like just behind the scenes in the classroom.
Man, I really like the young guy, man. I really do. He's a class act, and he's anxious to play. He's excited to get out there whenever that may be. It was great to see him back on the field this week, getting those practice reps. Looks fresh. I mean, he should. He's 21 years old, so he should have some fresh legs. So whenever you get a chance to go out there, man, have some fun in his game and make his debut.
Luke?
Hey, Terron, just since we're not really able to see y'all interact in the locker room, I'm just curious how Emmanuel Sanders is kind of fitting into what y'all already had established there.
Yeah, it's been smooth. It's been smooth. All the guys that we brought in, all the offseason acquisitions, whether it's the rookies or any free agents, everybody's been great. It's kind of the culture and the environment that we have here is demanding to keep that energy, that vibe, and that level of positivity, but also accountability as well. So Emmanuel's been another great veteran presence, Super Bowl champion. So having him in the locker room has been nothing but an addition.
Amy?
Yeah, past couple seasons, the next man up mentality has been very present, whether that's Drew, Alvin, you, Caesar, Andres, and now Mike. How do y'all keep that at the forefront when you're working on things, just knowing how things can change in the course of a week?
Yeah, well, ultimately, it's been a great job by the organization, really. The personnel, the depth that we have on the team to be able to do that, have guys that are ready and able to step in and produce. So yeah, I think the team has done a great job of finding the right pieces and also developing the pieces that's in the building for that time when it comes. And it all comes with challenges, especially you lose a guy like Mike Thomas. I mean, the best receiver in the NFL. You know, so you can't just ignore that for sure. You know, we got some things game plan wise that have to be implemented, and we got guys that's gonna have to step up and take that production away that Mike produces every week. So it'll be a challenge. You know, Raiders got a really active defense, and those guys play hard and hungry. But we got an offense that's used to being productive. And last week we didn't feel like we were as productive as we normally are. So we got to go out there and prove ourselves at the same time.
Nick?
Was there anything that you could feel a difference just with there being no preseason and kind of just going straight into the season, but just as far as chemistry or how things played out?
Yeah, it was. I mean, and then the uniqueness with no fans and just the pregame being a little different, especially in New Orleans. So it was different for sure. And every season, even with the preseason, it's still those first several games you feel like you're knocking rust off, or you're just getting your eyes back on some things and certain situations that pop up that don't just necessarily happen in practice or preseason games. You know, so just knocking that rust off, getting back into the groove of things. That kind of happened every year. This year maybe be a little more than normal. But I think it was a great first NFL week. I mean, great week one of the NFL season. It was fun to be back out there competing. You know, just exciting to see guys. You know, my guys making plays. The energy we had was great on the sideline. It got loud in the dome a little bit, as loud as we could make it. So it was fun.
And was there just anything weird or different about like how much you could hear that maybe changed the game a little bit? Like it was surprising you guys got them on that, the jump on that hard count. Like, is there just anything audibly that has changed about the way the game's played?
I can't really say because on the field, especially at home, all that audible that verbiage is easy to hear while we have the ball. You know, the crowd's not really doing much. So those cadences, their defensive calls, our offensive calls are pretty much the same while we had the ball. I'm pretty sure it was a different feel for the defense being at home because they're usually nonverbal communication for home games for the defense. But you know, being able to use their verbal communication, it probably helped out.
Terron, thanks so much for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terron.